traveled from Jerusalem to Antioch because God was doing a great work there among the Gentile people. When Barnabas sees what's going on, basically what happens is he says to himself, or prompted by God, he says, I got to get Paul. Paul's got to be a part of this. And so Barnabas travels from Antioch to Tarsus, where Paul is. Now, this is years later, brings Paul back with him to Antioch, and there the two of them minister side by side to the people in the church there for the next year. That's in chapter 11, verse 25. It is Paul, along with Barnabas, who are sent off by the church at Antioch on a missionary journey that lasts over 2 years period of time. During that time, they face incredible hardship. You remember the story that Paul is almost killed. People turn on him, they stone him, they drag his body out of the city, and somehow, miraculously, Paul survives. But Barnabas was a witness to that. But they also see God do some incredible, miraculous, and powerful things in people's lives during that time. It is Paul and Barnabas who are sent by the church in Antioch down to Jerusalem in order to meet with the apostles so that they can solve once and for all the question of how it is that people are saved. And that's the story that we've been looking at over the past few weeks in Acts chapter 15. So what I am saying to you is I want you to understand that these two guys are like the dynamic duo of first century ministry. When you think of Paul, you think of Barnabas. When you think of Barnabas, you think of Paul. And yet, one of the things that we see here in this passage is that they have a dispute with each other that is of such an intense nature that they choose to split apart and no longer work with each other. And it all has to do with a young man named John